Hello. Hello, everybody. Make sure I have everything right. Hi. Hi, everybody. I have a little starting here thing now. Isn't that nice? I've been trying to tinker away and improve at the everything, the whole setup. So, hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome back. If you have been here before. Hi, Loki. Hi, nice to see you. I remember you from yesterday, and I know how to pronounce your name now. Same old, same old. Apologies for the glitching. Apologies for my computer huffing and puffing away in the background. She has a hard time managing all of this, but she's going through it. She's a trooper. So, hi. Welcome, everybody. A few things. First of all, it is so warm in here. Like, yesterday it was freezing cold, and today it is, like, boiling hot. So I had to, like, make sure the radiator wasn't going, and I, like, wore, like, long sleeves today thinking it was gonna be cold, and it wasn't. So if you see me schwitzing a little bit, no, you didn't. But other than that, I had a very busy morning today, or I guess you could say morning, afternoon. I wanted to start at 12. I had mentioned this yesterday when I was streaming, and I didn't get to do that for many, many reasons. So, the first one is that I woke up late. It's just silly little me waking up late, right? It wasn't too bad, but, like, I didn't get to do as much this morning as I thought I was gonna do. Like, I thought I was going to be able to do some reading for school and, get some breakfast, have a nice leisurely morning, and I was not gifted that this morning. But that's my own fault for waking up late. So there's that to start with. And then, second of all, I had like 10 million errands I needed to run before this. And by the time I was like finally ready to like go do all those errands, I was like, there's no way I'm starting by 12. So yeah, we started at 1 again. I hope no one minds. I hope that's okay for everybody. Oh wait, I forgot to share the link. There, okay. Anyways, what was I saying? A few things. Just ranting about my day before we get started here. So yeah, first thing, woke up late. Second thing, had a lot of errands to run. Those errands were, I ordered a book that was supposed to be delivered to my school's bookstore, and I had to go pick it up. They said it was going to be here today, wasn't here today. Well, actually, it's even something more inconvenient. It was here, or like, it's arriving here. It's in the city, but it's arriving later today. And the bookstore closes at like 4 p.m., which was right when I was planning on ending stream. So I'm like, damn it, like, am I just gonna have to wait? And then they're not open over the weekend. So I'm just probably gonna have to wait like till Monday to pick it up. I mean, it's not a book I have to start reading until a week from now. So like, I have some wiggle room, but still, I was like I paid for it already. I was really hoping it would show up today, and it didn't. Well, it did, but I'm not going to be able to go pick it up today, so I might end stream early just so I could go pick it up. We'll see. I'll gauge it by ear. At least by, like, the same time I did yesterday, which was, like, 3:30. And so then my other thing on the list, I wrote it on my planner, actually. I wrote the list of things I have to get done today in my planner. The first thing was pick up book. The second thing was, eat some food so I'm not starving while I'm here on live with you guys. So I did. I got to eat some food. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed being able to eat some food. But I tried to be quick with it. And then my grandma called me while I was eating, so I kind of delayed things. But anyways, love my grandma. Love talking to her. She's great. And then I had to go to the corner store because as soon as I finished the live yesterday, my keyboard stopped working. Hi, I'm here. I can't be as interactive like yesterday. Oh, no worries, Ray. Thank you for joining anyways. I really appreciate it. I understand it's like a Friday, so like people are doing things, like at this time during the day, like working and stuff. This just happens to be a time that I'm available, and maybe next weekend or something, like next Saturday, I can try and, see if that'll be like a better time for people. But yeah, here I am. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying something in the chat. No problems. But I was just ranting about my day before I started the live now. How my afternoon has been going. So it's been a bit funny. That's all. It's just been a bit quirky. Having a quirky, funny time. So I had to go to the corner store because right after I finished the live today, my my keyboard like stopped working. Like if you look, I added timestamps. I added timestamps to my previous live from yesterday, so like you can watch it back if you didn't get to see it yesterday or whatever. Or if you're watching in the future, hi, if you're watching in the future, I'm gonna leave these streams up for people to watch, you know, on their own time. But as soon as I was like trying to put the timestamps in, and my keyboard like wasn't working, like it was glitching a lot, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I figured that the batteries were dying. Like I bought this keyboard like 2 years ago, and I haven't changed the batteries since. So, you know, that figures. So I was like, okay, let me go to the corner store and pick up some batteries, just so, you know, my keyboard will work for today's stream. And the corner store like moved locations. We're no longer on a corner, first of all. So they're like still unpacking all of their stuff, and they didn't have any batteries, and so I was pissed because I was like, the reason why I came here is for batteries, and there's no fucking batteries. So to feel like I, you know, wasn't just like completely wasting my time, I bought just a few random miscellaneous things. I guess I'll show you. First miscellaneous thing I bought was some emergency, this vitamin C like supplement thing. I don't want to get sick. I hate getting sick. So I bought these because I saw them there. Second thing I bought was these Haichu things. I thought it was funny that it says fantasy mix, and I'm like, does that mean like foods that don't exist flavored? Anyways, I bought this because I wanted to feel productive. And then I also got, instead of coffee today, I figured I would drink a Monster. This was the only kind they had at the store, again, because they were like unpacking a bunch of shit. Like most of their product was still in boxes, and I wasn't allowed to like reach in there and grab like a normal Monster, so I had to get a juice Monster. So I have tried this before though. Famously in my Sounds Good Feels Good video, I picked this because I thought the colors would fit with like the theme of the video. It's very silly. It's a very silly reason to buy an energy drink. But I thought this was all they had there, besides like 2 other kinds of the juice flavors. And I was like, I've tried this one before. Let's buy it. So you know what? Let's crack it open right now. Y'all want to hear the crack? Crack. There you go. There. So we got our caffeine for today. It's pretty good. It tastes like orange. It's kind of like those orange things. What are they called? Like orange soda. Kind of tastes like orange soda. Barely even tastes like energy drinks. That's like very dangerous. I could see like a 3-year-old just like chugging that whole thing and then like having a panic attack. Anyways, how long have I been on for? I've been on for about 10 minutes. I've been ranting about my silly little day. Let's get started. Oh, so I started like 2 minutes later, after 1, which is fine. Like I don't think anyone minded, but specifically, it was because I was finishing the editing for Right on Track. So if you guys remember from yesterday, I didn't get to finish it because my editing software shit the bed, and it might do again tonight. Let's hope not. So I finished like the like last 30 seconds of the edit. I finished, and I rendered it while I was like you know, getting the live stream set up and stuff. So I really hope my computer isn't too mad at me for doing that. I should have done it before I like turned on OBS and like got all this shit set up, but I didn't because I'm bad at planning things. So yeah, I have it now. I finished Right on Track, so now we can start with the Even Stevens movie. I think that'll also. I just realized this whole time Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off has only it's just all consonants in one vowel. That's so embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. Okay, let me fix that. Million. It's because my stupid. So this keyboard. Not only have the batteries died on me, but like for like the past year, I've owned it for 2 years, and for the past year, the I key has been very sticky. So like if you constantly see me like struggling to type the letter I, that's why. It's because the key is just fucked. Also, for some reason, my music isn't, like, updating. I thought it would, like... I have to, like, open the tab every time a new song comes on for it to show in the corner over there. So, I don't know why that is, but that's okay. I don't think we'll mind too much. I think we can get ready, get started. You know, get going. I've already been yapping for 10 minutes now, so I could probably get started with the editing process. So everyone in chat, you can let me know how you're doing, how your day's been going. Yeah, let's get to editing, as they say in the business. I already have it on the timeline. I distinctly remember I had a lot of issues with my Wi-Fi when I was recording this, so you might see a lot of me like pausing and then replaying and stuff. That always pisses me off when I screen recording, when I have to like constantly pause because of buffering and stuff, because then it ruins like, you know, getting shots and stuff. But anyways, yeah, let's start the timer. Let's just get going, you know? I've been ranting for 10 minutes now. There we go. Okay, 35 minutes starting now. Okay, so I think I already cropped this. I did. Okay, good. Well, I should probably like double check the crop just to be sure. This isn't too bad. The only thing I'm concerned about is that I'm gonna start burping like crazy, and no one wants that. No one wants to hear me burping. I need something with some sunshine, please. Okay, that's close enough. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Something I noticed is that like there's a slightly can you turn the music down some? Oh yes, I can. Sorry, is it too loud? Maybe I'm not loud enough. Maybe that's what it is. There. Is that better? I hope that's better. I was afraid my microphone was too loud, so I turned it down a little bit, but maybe it's too low. There. Oh, you know what? It's because at the beginning of the live yesterday, I fixed it, and I made it... okay. Okay. There. Let me know if the audio issues are fixed. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. Okay, hopefully that helps a bit. People actually want to hear me talk. They don't want to just hear Danville beats. That's awesome. That's fine. Okay, anyways. I was talking about aspect ratios and how there's like a weird, like slightly larger than 5:3, or 4:3, I mean, sorry. Like a slightly larger aspect ratio than 4:3, which I think is very interesting. I haven't seen that in the past. So that's pretty. I think it's just because like that's just like they just uploaded for streaming. What a lot of these DCOMs have done on Disney Plus is what they've done is they've like cropped it even inward more to be 16:9, and so they look like shit. Like specifically Smart House looks horrible on Disney Plus. Like it looks really bad because they cropped it to be 16:9 even though it's 4:3, so like they zoomed in like even closer on the frame, which is really annoying in my opinion. But for these movies, we're like, because like, you know, most of these movies, I think all of the movies before Princess Protection Program, if I remember correctly, were filmed in 4:3. Like they were not filmed in 16:9, so they could not be, they don't have copies of it in 16:9, you know what I mean? So I think what they do is they have a slightly wider aspect ratio that they use. POG. Oh, that's what they say on Twitch and stuff. Right, I forget. That's a thing. Thank you, Jonah. I'm glad that I'm POG. I don't use the internet much, actually. That's, like, famously, like, kind of, like, an embarrassing fact about me, that, like, I make internet stuff. but I'm not like an internet user. I did, get into Twitch for a little bit there, especially during like lockdown in America and stuff, because I really loved watching like videos like this, like Focus With Me lives. I enjoyed watching them. And so that's why I thought it would be, sorry if I keep leaning. I think I have to move my microphone there so I can actually see my keyboard. Oh, and let me get the timestamp for this while we're here. Yeah, the irony, Lamau. Yeah, or LMAO. I don't know how people say that either. Yeah, it's funny. I don't have like TikTok, which, it might get banned, it might not. I have my opinions on that, but we don't need to talk about it. It's very funny that like I don't use TikTok, I don't use Instagram. I used to use Instagram, so I have one, but I don't post anything on there, so no reason to follow me or anything. I had a Twitter and I deleted it, but then someone asked me if I had a Twitter, and I was like, I guess I'll like create an account with my username, but like I don't use Twitter, so I have an account, but like, yeah, I don't use it. Well, 2 minutes and 49 seconds. That's talked about this movie for a long time. There we go. Timestamp. I made a Blue Sky account too, because I heard that was a thing that existed. So you could follow me on Blue Sky if you use that social media. Again, I don't use it, so yeah, no offense to any of those social medias, but I just don't use them. So I like to think I have a rich and developed outside life. I like to think, at least. I do a lot of shit in the real world. So that's why I kind of wanted to do these live streams, because I'm like, I want to be more online. I'm like kind of kidding. It's more of just that I, wanted to connect with people more and like just have a little bit of fun. And also this is holding me accountable for actually editing, because I have a lot of shit to do in my real life. I will like put off making the videos, and I'm like, I love making these videos. Why do I put off doing things that I love? So I figured this would make it more fun. You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah. See, I was having a lot of like glitchy moments when doing the screen recording for this, so that was really getting me upset. And then it like glitches like this. Ugh, it always annoys me. Makes it hard to get footage. So mad. So upsetting. Here we go. Okay. So, what was I talking about earlier? Aspect ratios. My hyperfixation. I love aspect ratios. They're one of my favorite things. My theory is that they like recorded the movie in a slightly wider aspect ratio than specifically 4:3, just like the camera just a little bit wider, so they would have room to like crop things differently. First, can I just say also, like, this family photo is like the most photoshopped thing I've seen in a long time, or at least Shia LaBeouf looks photoshopped in there. But yeah, so when I went to go crop this, like, I'll show the example on the cropping. You can see like these little bars on the side, like it's actually a little bit wider, or sorry, it's like this, just to show the example. Like, see how it's like a little bit wider than 4:3? My theory was that was so they could like crop different sections better, but then when they uploaded it to Disney Plus, they were like, well, people don't want to watch movies in 4:3 on their flat screens. So yeah, they just they like uploaded it in the widest aspect ratio they had. So they uploaded it like this instead of this, which is what it actually is. So it's very fascinating. Is this the movie where they go to an island? I remember watching this movie so much as a kid. Yes, it is. This is the movie where the Stevens family go on an island. It has it's very similar plot to, or like similar conceit to the Proud Family movie, which I just got clips for a few days ago, so I just had to like relook at the footage for the Proud Family movie. Very similar setup of like take the sitcom family and put them on an island and have some sort of, you know, ulterior motive for getting them on the island. But you'll hear my opinions on the Proud Family movie when this video comes out and when I get there. I've never seen Even Stevens or this movie before this time. So this was, you know, like my first introduction to the project, like ever. So that was enjoyable. Yeah. I'm not like old, but also I'm not like super young. So this whole era of like the early Bounce era, and then especially the previous video with the Zoog era, was way beyond my time. Before my time, I mean. So I was not born, I think, when this movie came out. No, I was just barely born. Because famously, the Bounce era started in October of 2002, and that was the year I was born. So, yeah, like, literally I wasn't born when all these movies were coming out. But that's okay. I have been enjoying, like, learning about the, like, 90s and early 2000s through this project. That has been really fun for me. Another thing I want to try in the future is streaming later in the day, because, you know, this is kind of like afternoon time, like people are at work, people are, you know, doing things with their lives, especially on a weekday, but I'm just afraid that my Wi-Fi is not going to work. Like I said last time, the first 2 times I tried to do this whole streaming thing, like, it did not work. It just didn't work. And then, like, yesterday, when I first started, like, the stream for the first time, like, it actually worked, and I was like, holy shit. Very happy, very glad it did. So my theory was that, because I was always doing it at nighttime, like after the sun had set, you know, like 8 p.m. I was like trying to see if I can get the stream to work, like on a private live stream, and it just wasn't working. So my theory, I said this yesterday, my theory is that my Wi-Fi, because I have to use my school Wi-Fi. I would love to get my own Wi-Fi router so I don't have to rely on the school Wi-Fi, but I am. The goal is to get my own Wi-Fi router so I can just do whatever the heck I want with my Wi-Fi, you know? Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get it right. Here we go. Yeah, I want to get the spaghetti drop. He fills the balloon with spaghetti. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, there, that's what I wanted. So, you know, I would love to stream at night, like later in the nighttime, when more people are available, but I don't know if my Wi-Fi would allow me to. I really hope it would, but maybe we'll do a test. We'll do like a test, like really short stream, where I try to see if I can get it to work. But other than that, this has been really fun so far. I gotta say, this live stream thing, I've been enjoying it. It's been making, because like this process to me has just been a huge struggle of mine. I have not had a good time with this specific process of editing the clips to show. So it's been nice that I, you know, can do that. I like struggling just to have, like, with boredom while I do this. It's also probably just because I'm not that good at it. Like, I'm not efficient and I don't really know what I'm doing. That's probably a large part of it. Apologies if there's any glitching. Let me see. Make sure everything's running smooth on my end. Looks like it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna crank the music just a little bit. There, hopefully that's not too loud. Hopefully I sound okay. I can't really check. Well, I could check, but I don't know how to do that. I'm like very new to streaming. Like I just looked up like an OBS YouTube video, like how to, just a few days ago before I started. So apologies if there's anything wonky. I just got myself a loading screen, like a starting screen and then like an ending screen, so that's great. Oh, and then for sandwich time, which we'll have after we do 2 like sprints or tomatoes, focus time, whatever you want to call it. After we do 2 of those, we're gonna have sandwich time, but I'm not gonna have a sandwich this time, during sandwich time. I'm gonna have some peanut butter banana toast. I've already set it in my mind. That's what I'm gonna do, which excites me very much. I guess that's enough footage of that scene. Maybe we'll show them scrapping at the New Year, at the graduation party. Again, I've never seen the show, so I know a big part of this movie is like showing how much Ren and Louis is his name? Yeah. Honestly, the time you do your streams now is perfect for me. It's past 9 p.m. for me right now. Nice evening stream. Okay, cool. See, that makes me feel great, Loki. Thank you for mentioning that, because I was literally thinking, like, you know, ideally I would do 11, but clearly I just have, like, so much shit to do in the morning and the afternoon that, like, I can't start till 1. But, like, ideally I wanted to start at 11, because I know, like, you know, for international people, that's, like, kind of the best time, because it's, like, evening for people, you know, for people across the pond, as we Yanks say, or just like at different parts of the world in general. But then like it's still a good time for like most United States viewers. So thank you. I'm glad. Because if I were to do a night stream, it'd be like what, like 3 in the morning for you, and you should be in bed instead of watching a stupid live stream. So it's important to get your sleep. So, good to know that this is a good time. I'll factor into that. Maybe I'll try on the weekends then. I don't know if I'll do tomorrow. I'll have to look into my schedule to see if I can do tomorrow. Another live stream like this. Because I could definitely go for longer if I did tomorrow. I think. Yeah, but maybe the weekends would be better. Maybe Saturday, Sunday would be nice. Or even Monday. Like, I think I said this last... Yeah, I said this last time. I will... I don't have any classes on Mondays, which is weird for me. Like, I'm not used to that. And I do have a class scheduled for Monday, but it's not until after spring break. It's like a half... What's the word? Half-time class. One of those half-time classes. So... Oh, I don't know what's so, what's frowny face, or open mouth frowny face, that I said, but you can let me know, Jonah, about streaming or whatever, I guess, my little streaming rant about the time. Unless there's some issue. No, I think we're fine. Okay. But yeah, I don't have any classes on Monday, so maybe Monday would be a good day for people. I hope you guys are doing work while I'm babbling and we're editing here. That would be nice. I would appreciate that. Oops. So, if you guys are working on stuff, let me know what you're working on. That'll be fun. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm assuming he was like... I'm assuming he was like an important plotline in the Even Stevens TV show. I don't know if I'd ever be interested in watching this show. Like, I think I got all I could, you know, want out of this movie. Oh, it was just funny you telling Loki to go to sleep. No, Loki, it's not too late yet. You can stay up. That's funny. I was just saying, you know, if I were to stream at night for me, it would be too late for you, Loki. If I were to, like, hypothetically stream at, like, 5 p.m. for my time, for your time, it would be the middle of the night, so you should be asleep. But right now, cool to stay on, because it's only, what, you said 9 p.m.? Yeah, it's past 9 p.m.? That's party time. That's watch live stream time, for sure. That is funny, Jonah. I completely forgot that that's what we were talking about. Maybe I should change the latency. Can I do that right now? No, I can't. Damn. Or am I on extra low latency? Sorry, I was looking at my settings because latency just means like how fast like I see the comments show up on my end. And I had it set to low yesterday, and I was like, man, I'm like hella behind on what people are saying in the chat. So I think I set it to extra low today to be more like, you know, on top of it. But it's probably still too slow. But whatever, it's fine. No worries here. You know, speaking of sleep, my sleep has been like horrible these past few days, which is why I woke up late today. So, the Even Stevens show is basically Lizzie McGuire. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Cause I quite like, I've been wanting to watch Lizzie McGuire. That's the show I've been interested in, and I haven't been interested in this show. So that's good to know that they're very similar, because, like, I'm not going to be talking about the Lizzie McGuire movie in my video, because it was made for theaters, wasn't made for Disney Channel. Her, along with Hannah Montana, Lizzie McGuire and Hannah Montana transcended the DCOM status, and got their own movies in theaters. So it was not made for Disney Channel. It was made by the Disney Corporation. Yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I've never been, like, super interested in watching Even Stevens. Because, I don't know, I think maybe it's the whole Shia LaBeouf thing. You know, obviously this was way before he had any, controversies or anything like that. He was just a little kid. But, yeah, I remember just being, I just remember, like, you know, like, hearing about it, thinking, like, oh, should I, like, you know, should I care about that? I don't know. But I think a lot of my audience, too, are, like, you know, some of them at least. I think I have, I've been attracting a lot of Zoog Disney people who loved watching Zoog Disney because of my previous video. And I'm very, very glad about that. I'm very happy with that, because I don't want kids watching my channel. No offense to kids, but they can go elsewhere. I mean, you know, I get it, like teenagers and stuff, but yeah, I'm glad I've been getting more of a grown-up audience, because that's what I was afraid of when talking about, like, kids shows, you know, with Disney Channel and stuff, is that, like, just a bunch of infants are going to be watching my channel. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But I'm just really glad that, like, people have been loving the Zoog video. I mean, I wish it was monetized, but I don't want to get into that rant. It's such a silly thing, but I'm glad people have been enjoying it. I'm glad it's gotten the love and attention that I think it deserves. Yeah, I think Shia really negatively aged the Even Stevens brand. For sure, yeah. In ways that, like, Hilary Duff didn't, you know? But that probably has something to do with their upbringings, you know? Like, I said this yesterday, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm reading Disney High right now. There's the book. I'm reading Disney High, and I got through the Even Stevens chapter, and I just finished the Lizzie McGuire chapter, and I'm gonna start the Raven Simone chapter, probably soon, because, you know, I really want to, I'm like 1/3 of the way through the book. And, you know, Ashley Spencer talks about their backgrounds, the family lives of both of those people in this book, and I think that really highlights, probably their differences, that, like, these poor children. That's it. Just these poor children. Shia LaBeouf had a hard upbringing. Hilary Duff had a relatively comfortable upbringing. So I bet just, like, the comfort and safety that kids are afforded when it comes to, you know, money and stuff really changes how they become adults. It's really quite tragic, the whole industry. You know, part of me is, like, really grapples with that, which is why I try to talk about it in my videos, so I, you know, can sleep at night. Like, specifically, my Sunny with a Chance video was supposed to come out before The Suite Life on Deck, but it came out after because I, like, watched every Demi Lovato documentary and just, like, really, like, got really upset and sad about everything that went on during that. And I'm really glad Demi Lovato is doing, like, much better now, because you know, it's just hard. Being a child actor is hard. So I think that's, like, part of the reason why, like, maybe not as many people want to watch Even Stevens, is because of that Shia LaBeouf legacy, you know? But, you know, we shouldn't discount the entire project just because, like, 15, 20 years later, the lead actor was, like, doing some bad stuff, you know what I mean? But, anyways, I was interested in Lizzie McGuire because of its, like, its placement in the culture, I guess you could say, and it's Demi is a queen. I agree. I love Demi Lovato. Big fan. Do I have it here? Oh, it's, like, in a big box, but I have some Demi Lovato CDs that I love to listen to. Yeah, big fan. I'm a big fan of Demi Lovato. Especially right now, they've just been, you know, like, thriving and just, like, doing really good with the new sound and everything. And that's what making me happy. But anyways, this also has Christy Carlson Romano. Like, we were talking about Shia LaBeouf a lot, but, like, Christy Carlson Romano is really sorry. I think there's a dumpster truck in the parking lot right now, so you can probably totally hear just... Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I actually had to crack my window. Oh, this makes me so mad. So I cracked my window open because it was so goddamn stuffy and hot in here. I live in a building from, like, the 1940s, so there's no air conditioning. So when it gets hot in here, it gets hot. And the radiator is on because, you know, it was freezing cold yesterday and last night. So I cracked the window to get some, like, a breeze in here, and the temperature's really nice now that I've done that. But you can hear the noise in the parking lot outside my window. So I'm sorry. Maybe during sandwich time I'll close it, just so we don't have as much noise disturbance. But anyways, I was talking about Christy Carlson Romano and how she runs, like Podco, I think now, right? All of those podcasts about, like, childhood nostalgia and stuff. I don't know how people feel about the whole Podco situation and stuff. I think, like, the reason why one of the reasons why, like, Christy Carlson Romano probably feels the need to, like, capitalize on her legacy as like a Disney Channel icon more than others is probably because of the whole Shia LaBeouf thing. Like, you know, like, the show isn't as well remembered because Shia LaBeouf is kind of like a disaster of a public figure. So, like, she doesn't get any of the goodwill that would come from being, like, a main character on a show like this, you know? And so I really feel for her in that sense. And then, like, the other big thing she did for Disney Channel wasn't on, she was just voice acting. She voice acted Kim Possible, right? So I think that's very fascinating. That's, like, part of what I was thinking about since we have started talking about Shia LaBeouf a bit. And Jonah, you had mentioned his legacy impacting the Even Stevens legacy. And I feel like it impacted Christy Carlson Romano's legacy as well. But, you know, I don't want to speculate too much on people's personal lives or, you know, why they do things. It's just interesting. When it comes to like Podco, since y'all, you know, like Disney Channel, so I'm assuming that's why you're watching me, you know, this video and stuff, this live stream. I forget sometimes. I am so used to filming videos, so like if you see me with my fringe checks and all that, and I'm so used to like being able to cut those out. But nope, we're live, so. But for this live stream, I'm assuming you're watching it because you like Disney Channel, and when it comes to Disney Channel, yeah, she was Kim Possible. Yeah, she was Kim Possible, Christy Carlson Romano. This pretty girl right here, covered in chocolate. Yeah, she was the voice of Kim Possible. I also read from Disney High. I'm gonna keep pointing out that I've read this, so I have street cred. Apparently, the Even Stevens TV show was like she was supposed to be the main character, and it was called like Ren's little brother or something. Like they were always supposed to be like a duo, but she was supposed to be the main focus. But when they casted Shia LaBeouf and they thought he had like such like intense energy together, or he had such an intense energy and like quality about him as an actor, they like shifted the focus to make him the main character. It's kind of a reverse Wizards of Waverly Place, because famously with Wizards of Waverly Place, David Henry was supposed to be the lead character, but then they wanted to do like a Hannah Montana Part 2 with that show. So when they casted Selena Gomez, they were like, well, we gotta sell the show with Selena Gomez music, so they made her the lead character. Anyways, very fascinating, very, very fascinating stuff. But speaking of Wizards of Waverly Place, I was talking about Podco and wondering how people feel about the ubiquity of like TV show review podcasts from television shows from the 2000s and like early 2010s. I mean, I literally have one before the big trend of these past few years started. My Babysitter's a Vampire review podcast, which we're now reviewing Gravity Falls. Fun fact. I gotta get with the podcast gang. We gotta get together again and record some new episodes. Oh, it was a bus. It wasn't it wasn't the garbage truck. It's a... Oh my gosh, it's a literal semi-truck that had to do a Yui, had to do a Yui in the parking lot that my window faces. So that's what all that noise was. Sorry about that, guys. And then also me getting distracted like a squirrel, like, oh. But anyways. I have a TV show review podcast with Waverly Place and now Gravity Falls. But... Oops, that's where I didn't want to press pause there. It's okay. But yeah, like these, like the Wizards of Waverly podcast, I think is what it's called, right? That was the one, that was the one of the two out of the Podco, like, podcasts that I watched. Because I like Ned's Declassified, but not enough to, like, watch a TV show review podcast about it. I'm glad they're all friends now, you know, in the modern day. But it was the Wizards of Waverly podcast and the Zeke and Luther podcast, which I think has been rebranded, because you can't call it the Zeke and Luther podcast if you just have Zeke and Kojo. I'm fine with the podcasts they do, but I do think Ned's Declassified shared way too much personal information. See, I wouldn't know about that because I've never listened to it. And also, like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, even though I'm not that online. I do, like, YouTube is what I watch a lot of, which makes sense because I like making them. But anyways, I did see a lot of like thumbnails of like the Ned's Declassified people need to stop, and I'm like, I wasn't interested enough to figure out what they were saying. But apparently, according to you, they overshare, which sounds about right. I think I like impulsively clicked on a YouTube short once, and I saw that they were they were talking about stuff, and I was like, all right. But yeah, I don't have much experience on their subject matter of that show. I thought they'd be reviewing episodes of the show, but then again, they're so short, and they're like episodic, so it's not like there's that much to talk about. Like, you can't make an hour-long podcast about the show Ned's Declassified or review a new episode. So I guess they just kind of have to like talk about how shit their lives are, right? Or how much they've learned from the industry or whatever, right? Oh, it's bad. They talk a lot about all the sex they had, and I was like, no, I don't want to know that information. That's funny. Interesting. Oh, like just like ruining your childhood moments, right? Where it's like we were all degenerates on that kids' television show, or like how adult everything was for them, even though they were kids, on a very innocent and like wholesome show. Because it's not like a iCarly or like a Victoria situation where like that show was fucked. Like I would not recommend children watch that show, those shows, even though I have like a deep fascination with them. I wouldn't recommend people watch those at all. But actually though, I think that's like a big appeal for people. So I don't know how I feel about it. But I was talking about Victorious, like for that it makes sense to be like, yeah, things were shit in behind the scenes, like things were bad because like things were bad on the show, so obviously things were bad behind the scenes. But for shows like Ned's Declassified, it was like that was always like heralded as one of the good ones, you know, on Nickelodeon specifically. It wasn't like the evil Victorious. It wasn't run by what's his name, Dan Schneider, who has like become the villain of that era, right? It was run by Sam Phillip. I can't remember. The same guy who ran Big Time Rush also ran Ned's Declassified. But like those shows have very different vibes and auras to like the Dan Schneider style, right? I like the Wizards podcast. David DeLuise is such a nice guy, and seeing more of Jennifer is great as well. See, I agree. I watched a good chunk of the Wizards of Waverly podcast. I watched all of the episodes they had made up to me releasing my video about Wizards, specifically about Max Russo, right? But I intended it to be a video about Wizards as a whole, but I ended up just talking about Max Russo for an hour, so that ended up being the whole video. But, and I really quite enjoyed it. Like, I think having the two perspectives as, like, one of the adult characters who's, like, a grown-ass man, and then, one of, like, the child characters who is now a grown-ass woman, but, like, they're both at very different points in their lives, but they're still able to, like, converse about this moment in their life is really cool. Oh, we're done. 35 minutes are up. Let's switch back. We got halfway through. I've been averaging around half of the editing time per tomato, per Pomodoro. So I liked the Wizards of Waverly podcast. I have not listened to it in some time. So I would love to go back maybe and, catch up on episodes, especially now that the reboot happened. I would love to watch the reboot, but I would for sure have to wait until the first season was done before I would want to talk about the Wizards requel, I guess. It's a reboot sequel, right? But, the other one I listened to was the Zeke and Luther podcast, because again, I made a video about it. It's like, if I didn't make a video about it, I probably didn't find, like, I wasn't, like, interested in the project enough, in the topic enough to want to listen to it. But of course, that podcast only debuted after I released my Zeke and Luther video, like, literally within the same week of me dropping the video, the podcast got made, so that's very funny. Let me put a timer on my phone. I would put it on the screen, but I gotta figure out how to do that without having to, like, switch the time from 35 to 7 every time, and it kind of takes a while to do that, so. Okay, 7 minutes, 7-minute break. We're on it. Is the reboot still releasing? Watched, like, the first 4 episodes. I think it is. I don't mind spoilers, like, I literally don't care. Like, it's a sitcom, like, you're meant to be able to watch whatever episodes in whatever order, right? So I did watch the Key and Carlisle video where he talked about it, and I think that was, like, the halfway point of the season, like, the season was still being released, but I can check if it won't shut down my whole computer to pull up Disney Plus. I can check right now if they're still uploading episodes. I'm pretty sure they are. I wouldn't be surprised if it got at least a second season, at minimum, I think. But who knows? They could cancel it after 1, because I'm really scared for the future of Disney Channel. Not like scared, but, like, weary It's alright. Made more for kids than adults who grew up with it. Yeah, see, that's the I have many thoughts on this. That's the thing about Disney Channel reboots, is that they refuse, and I mean they refuse, to be for the target audience. To quote Quentin Reviews, like, your nostalgia is marketable, but you don't watch kids shows, right? That's like the phrase that Quentin Reviews said. So, like, famously, the Lizzie McGuire reboot never happened because Hilary Duff wanted to make it, like, you know, for the grown-ups who watched the show when they were younger, and she wanted it to be, like, you know, probably at minimum PG-13, maybe even rated R, who knows. But they wouldn't allow it, so it was dead in the water. That reboot never happened because of that. That's a good quote. Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Quentin Reviews. That's like on hour 8 or 9 of the Victorious video. That's like hour 7 of that 8-hour video, which I did get through. Okay, so I'm looking at the Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. That's kind of a horrible title. I thought it'd be Beyond Wizards of Waverly Place or something, but Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. Okay, currently episode 9 is out. I don't know when it dropped. I wish they had timestamps on here, but they don't. That makes me upset. So they're on episode 9. So there you go. I don't know if that's like halfway through the season or not. If Lizzie came back and was allowed to grow, that show would be a hit. I agree. So far, Nickelodeon is the only network that has been, like, allowed to do that, like with the iCarly reboot being for grown-ups, right? I do think that a modern-day adult Lizzie McGuire would have been huge because, again, Disney High, I'm going to talk about it a lot because I have it here on the table. They talked about how one of the reasons why Lizzie McGuire was such a big hit when it was airing was because like people of all ages were watching it. Like college age girls were watching the show as it was airing because they would show reruns at like 11 p.m. and they'd be getting like 3 million views at 11 p.m. and people are like, 3-year-olds are not, or like 10-year-olds are not up at 11 o'clock. Who is watching these reruns? And they'd be like, 20-year-old girls who like can relate to the struggle that they had just finished going through. Have you watched the new iCarly? I have not. I don't know if I will. I have it on, like, I have a massive list of like videos I want to do, and that's one of them. That's definitely one of them. Is like, if I watch the iCarly reboot, will I have enough opinions to want to make a video about it? That's like one of on the list of things. And if I don't, then I don't make a video about it. But I haven't seen it yet, no. And then same thing with Zoe 102. Awful title. Again, even worse than Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. That's a horrible title. I didn't hear good things about that. I never watched Zoe 101. I like fully just skipped that show growing up. It just never appealed to me, I guess. So I have no reason to watch the sequel movie, yeah. But that was allowed to be like for grown-ups, as far as I'm aware, right? That was for, you know, the audience. But yeah, Disney Channel just won't let their IP be non-child friendly. Like, they just refuse. So like with Raven's Home and Wizards, like, they just have to be for children. It's just a rule. I don't think I will watch Zoe 102. Yeah, I didn't hear good things about it, so I'm concerned for that, you know. I, you know, would hope the best for these actors, but yeah, in general, it's just, even though Zoe 101 was one of my favorite shows as when I was a kid. Yeah, see, like, that's the thing, I don't think it appeals to that audience, even though, like, it's supposed to. It's probably there's probably something around the marketing, around everything, that was just a bit wonky. Also, I know people aren't really super fond of Jamie Lynn Spears anymore, for reasons. Massive crushes on Chase and Logan. I'm assuming those are the two boy main characters of that show. Again, I literally know nothing about Zoe 101. I do remember, like, what few episodes I did watch of that show. I remember liking that it was, like, mainly about the ship between Zoe and, I think, Chase, if I'm remembering correctly. I liked that, and I didn't like how straight away Dan Schneider sitcoms got from shipping, just because those were, like, the most compelling plot lines in a lot of those shows. The random bullshit they did to fill airtime was, like, not interesting at all, but, like, character development and, like, character interaction was. So anyways, I was talking about, yeah, Chase and Zoe. Okay, thank you for clarifying for me, Jonah. I was talking about how Disney Channel refuses to do adult remakes, and also, Disney Channel might go under at any second now. I mean, it pretty much already is. In 2021, I talk about this. I'm still hurt from the non-ending to Victorious. Yes, I am too. Oh my gosh. I could talk about Victorious for hours, and maybe I will. I gotta sneeze, but we're done here. Excuse me, I had to sneeze, and I did not want to put that on the microphone. We're done here, so now time to go back to, editing, but let me continue what I was saying. Dude, I love Victorious. We're starting our focus time again. I love Victorious. But I would never recommend people watch it, and I mean, like, never. It is, I don't know how I would be able to, like, describe my feelings on that show to somebody, but I literally have, like, hours and hours and hours of thoughts and discussions about that show. But Disney Channel is really, really struggling. I would say when it comes to like still existing, like all of their shows, literally all of their shows that were running in 2023 got canceled or ended recently. So I'm almost like certain that like something is changing, something is shifting over there at the Disney Channel headquarters. Well, because famously, like, everything made for Disney Channel, everything that airs on Disney Channel now is just stuff that's made for Disney Plus. And they've gotten in, I've done so much research into this, like, a lot, but so many networks and there's been a lot of issues with what is a Disney Channel project, what is a Disney Plus project. They keep like reallocating and like switching things around in very shady ways. So I know that's been a huge... Is that the girl? I'm sorry. This is the girl from The Ultimate Christmas Present. Like full on, right? Like she's in The Ultimate Christmas Present, right? She looks too young, though. She looks way younger than Allie from The Ultimate Christmas Present. Anyway, sorry, getting distracted. The focus is exclusively on animation on Disney Channel 2. Yes, that has been something that I've also noticed, is that, like, the big shows from Disney Channel the past few years have been, like, The Owl House and Big City Greens, which I actually watched like half an episode of Big City Greens recently. Not recently, it was like a few months ago already. And I was like, this is just SpongeBob. Like, this is such a SpongeBob ripoff. And maybe that's not fair of me to say because like the main character is yellow. so like my lizard brain is like, same character. But no, like I got a lot of SpongeBob energy from that show. And it just so clearly felt to me like it was, you know, like trying to pull from that, you know what I mean? Oh no. I think someone's doing work in the parking lot right now. There's some Big City Greens makes me want to vomit. I don't know much about that show. I really don't. I was helping my grandma get rid of her cable this past summer, And so while we had canceled it, and so we had like a month left where it was like before it got shut down and we had to send the boxes back and everything. So I like, whenever I was there, I was like, hey grandma, I'll hang out with you in a little bit, but like, can I just sit on your couch and watch Disney Channel for an hour? Because I was like fascinated to see what the channel was doing like in the modern day in 2024. And so I was like, well, I gotta watch a little bit of Big City Greens, because at that point the Big City Greens movie, which is a DCOM, wasn't out yet. So I was like, he's like gonna come out. So I wanted to like watch at least a little bit of it, but I don't know, I didn't really like get the full vibe of it. It might be like really good, it might be really bad, who knows. I'm assuming kids like it, which is why they make so much of it. But yeah, it just felt like Disney Channel was trying to eat some of Nickelodeon's lunch in that sense, you know what I mean? Like they were stealing their lunch. But I was talking about how like all of those shows have been canceled. Like maybe I can pull up a poll from Tumblr that I saw from one of my favorite like Disney Channel Tumblr accounts, which is East High. They post a lot of like Disney Channel related stuff, and they did a poll a little bit ago where they were like, what's your favorite modern Disney Channel show that has gotten canceled, that either got canceled for sure in 2023 or they just didn't order another season order of, and like they haven't announced it's canceled, but like they're not making any more of it, you know what I mean? And for me, that would probably be one that I haven't seen yet, but I'm like dying to see, and that's the show Pretty Freaking Scary. Pretty Freaking Scary. I am deeply fascinated with that show. That show sounds so I have a lot of thoughts on that, but anyways. Yeah, like all of the Disney Channel shows have been canceled. Like Raven's Home ended. This show, Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, is like the only Disney Channel show that's running, I think. That's still actually running right now. I could be wrong, though. I could always go on the Wikipedia page and try to see if I'm, like, remembering that wrong or whatever. But, yeah, a lot of Disney Channel is really kind of they're kind of going belly up, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And I find that very fascinating. Which is why I wanted to make this video. Like, that's like literally 2021 is like when I started writing the script for the DCOM video, which is crazy considering it's now 2025. I don't want to think about that. But I started thinking about this project and writing for it and like kind of watching the movies for it in late 2021, because I think it was October of 2021 when all international channels for Disney Channel got shut down. So like now, anywhere but America, like Disney Channel and Disney XD like literally doesn't exist. Did you see that superhero show that Disney copied from Henry Danger? The Villains of Valley View, I think is what it's called. Yeah. I don't know if I haven't actually seen any of it. I wanted to watch an episode of it during that month where I watched Disney Channel at my grandma's house. I did like catch like the teaser of it, and then I had to leave. And I haven't even seen Henry Danger either. Like, that's beyond my time. So I wouldn't doubt though that was, again, or like the Thundermans, right? I could see it being also like a somewhat copy of the Thundermans. The fact that both of those shows aired on Nickelodeon at the same time and they had the same premise is wild. Well, not the same premise, but very similar premises. Fucking crazy. But yeah, that definitely seems like they were like, Henry Danger is like the biggest kids show to come out of cable in the late 2010s. Like, we got to do something similar to that. And that's the same people who created Mighty Med. So in that sense, you could see it being like very similar to Mighty Med in the sense that like it's like being like the creators like still doing like superhero things. But anyways. I was, that show also got canceled. That was on the list of, like, shows that only got a few seasons and then got the kaput from Disney Channel recently. I don't think it outright got canceled. I think what happened is that Yeah, it didn't outright get kaput, but it... Sorry, I got a notification on my computer screen, and I was reading it. I got an email from my school, it's whatever. But anyways, damn, I like completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, that's so annoying. Sorry, it's just an email saying that earlier today I was talking about the stupid book that I wanted that, you know, was supposed to be here today, and it wasn't there when I showed up. It's here now. Of course, now it's here when I'm busy. Whatever. It probably didn't matter what I was talking about. So, talking about Mighty Med? I kind of love Mighty Med. Like, that's one of my favorite shows ever. That show is really funny. I just love Bradley Stephen Perry. What can I say? You know, like, he's so good. I know they had some show about a family of rollerbladers. Really? I actually have not heard of that. I don't know what that is. Oh, I was talking about how Disney Channel is canceling all of their TV shows. They canceled Villains of Valley View. They canceled Raven's Home. They canceled Pretty Freaking Scary. I think those are like the big ones. Those are like the big three. Oh, and then that Disney Channel has been kaput everywhere internationally but America. Are you going to cover the tie-in video game they made for the Even Stevens movie? I didn't even know that existed. So no, Jonah. I'm not gonna talk about this. Maybe now I will. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll insert a little piece because I already edited the audio for it. But maybe I'll sneak that in there. It was called Saturdays. Yes, I did hear about Saturdays. Thank you, Jacob, for saying the title. Yes, I didn't know what it was about at all, but I knew that show existed. I knew that was the title. That was the other one that got canceled. Yes, only canceled after one season, lasted 2... Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jacob, for clarifying for me. Yeah, add that to the list of... You know, I'm actually gonna... Sorry, we're in focus time, but, like, I'm gonna look it up now. The poll on Tumblr that Disney Channel blog made of, like, which one are you most sad to be seeing canceled? Let me pull it up now for you guys. So, Even Stevens Survival Challenge. Okay, I'll look that up, and I'll because of you, I'll add a little piece of it in there. Let me see. Sorry, my computer's huffing away. Tumblr just uses so much everything on my end. Let's see. I did like it, so it's in my likes. Because I did vote on it. Let's see. Yeah, which show that Disney Channel canceled in 2024 are you the most upset about? Secrets of Sulphur Springs, The Ghost of Molly McGee, Pretty Freaking Scary, Raven's Home, Bunked, Haley's on It, The Villains of Valley View, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur. That's the other live-action one, or animated one that I know people love. Zombies, the Re-animated series. That one... crazy. Lasted very little amount of time. Saturdays must have been from 2023 then. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Saturdays. Disney. Yeah, there it is. Yes. I've heard of this show. I've seen this before. I guess just didn't click that they all are wearing rollerblades. Yes, it's from 2023. So it got canceled in 2023. That's crazy. R.I.P. It looks really fun. I bet it was a good show too. Like, I'm really interested in, like, the modern Disney Channel shows. I've been really wanting to, like, take a peek into that realm. Specifically the show Pretty Freaking Scary, because I read the plot synopsis of it. And it looks pretty good. It looked like something I would be interested in making a video about and talking about. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, honestly. That like all of those shows got canceled in 2024. You know what? Since we're just Googling things, I'm gonna look up Disney Channel TV shows, the Wikipedia page, and I'm gonna see what's. I'm gonna see what's still running. And see, I immediately get Disney Plus stuff, which is crazy. That's the big complication, where it's like a lot of Disney Plus shows and Disney Plus movies are being like simulcasted on Disney Channel because they're not because Disney Channel's barely making anything. Okay, here we go. What is currently still on? Oh, Pose, I forgot about that show. Is that still running? That had a lot of controversy when it came out, didn't it? They also had Just Roll With It, which was pretty decent. It was a show with an element of improv. Ooh, cool. Crazy you can't find any videos of the game on YouTube and the browser page does not exist. I'm gonna have to get some real deep, in-depth research then to to be able to look up that game. But I'll mention it since you mentioned it. I can't get past the kids acting because it's so Disney now. Like, it's extremely hard to get past. Oh, yes, thank you, Jonah. I'm gonna check the Internet Archive because Flash is dead. It might be gone. Okay, yes, I would love to get some footage of it. That would be ideal. Yeah, I think with Disney now, I watched a few episodes of Raven's Home during my month of Disney Channel viewing. I think, yeah. No, I don't want footage of this. I'll get more footage of them later. These two crazy kids. But I think the problem with a lot of these Disney Channel shows is that they have to be for younger audiences. Again, I might check, I might just quote Quentin Reviews again, because he said, you know, I fully agree with this, and I, like, you know, fully understand this opinion, you know, from my own research and my own perspective, not just because he said it, but, like, specifically, cable television is for, like, the elderly and the infants. For infants and old people now. Because everyone who watches TV, to quote Quentin Reviews, is either too old to get the internet or too young to be allowed to be on the internet. So a lot of these shows are for like infants, are for young children. So it's just like really doesn't, it's not family friendly anymore. It's like for babies, you know, like all of these early sitcoms were like for the family, the whole family to enjoy. And now that just doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? So that's very fascinating to me. Oh, sorry, let me catch up on the comments. Should be on Flashpoint, a project that preserves Flash games. A lot of the Disney games are archived on there. Oh yes, I have heard of Flashpoint. That's why it's a game built onto the DVD. Oh, okay. It wasn't a Flash game. It was a game that came on the DVD exclusive. Oh, I love DVD exclusives. Do I have my copy of let me see. Sorry guys, one second. I'm just trying to see if I have my copy of I have all of the High School Musical movies on DVD. There's a bunch of crazy shit on there that I love. I love DVD exclusives. That's so sad that like that kind of stuff isn't like properly archived. I bet if you could find a copy of the movie on eBay or something, like a DVD copy, I bet we could unearth some footage of the video game, you know? But anyways, I was talking about how a lot of modern Disney Channel stuff is for babies. Like, it's not for all ages anymore. which is just a fact. It's just a pure fact that, like, they make it for these television shows a lot of the times are just like the equivalent of like jiggling keys in someone's face. So like, not only is it that like the shows are they're not worse necessarily, they're just like for a different audience that like you and me are, you know, people here watching the stream with me. Then so that's why we don't enjoy them, but they also just like aren't what's creating the culture anymore. Like Twitch streamers and TikTok and stuff are creating the culture now, right? So that's why they feel so like what you had said, Ray. It's so Disney now, like it's extremely hard to get past. Like, in my opinion, that's the main reason why. Are we doing okay? Am I having any issues? Am I having streaming issues? Can you guys, can you guys still see what's going on the screen? I apologize if there's any issues. Sorry, I'm just double checking to make sure everything looks right. I'm afraid that I might go down. It did cut out? Okay, sorry about that. I hope am I back now? I know I have it pulled up on my screen over here, and I was like, oh shit, I'm getting I'm getting glitchy over here. Let me see, am I running smoothly again? Sorry, I just wanted to pause real quick. I don't want to say anything while I'm, all glitched out. Everything looks fine on my end. Okay, I'm okay now? Okay. Okay, I look fine now. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Thank you for sticking with me on that. It's a mess. I have a very janky setup, but anyways. Yeah, I remember that because I had it. The game, as I remember, was just so basic. You played as the family members collecting supplies before you went to the island. Okay. I love those, like, shovelware style games where, like, there's, like, no plot. Okay, I'm running fine again, I think. I'm looking okay now. Okay. Again, sorry about that. My computer's just huffing away. This poor thing. Anyways, I was getting distracted talking about all these thoughts and opinions. So, yeah, a lot of these shows are made for children now. Like, even Stevens was made for all families. You could still enjoy it as a grown-up, being able to look at it from kids. I mean, that's why Lizzie McGuire was so eternal, right? Yeah, I think Googling the stream was glitchy. Yeah, I think that's what caused it to glitch out. I tried to Google things, and my computer said, no, you're doing too much. So yeah, no more Googling. That's what I've learned. No more looking things up. We stick to editing. Editing and talking only. So, I think that's why, like, shows like Lizzie McGuire and even Stevens, like, why people want to watch, 5-hour deep dive videos on them now, because the shows were, like, interesting, and had, elements to chew on. And not that these shows don't, it's just that they're not for grown-ups, and grown-ups are the ones who are watching these hour-long videos. So that's why I would find it very interesting to one day make a video essay, a review. I think that's mainly what I'm doing, like, with this DCOM video. It's like I'm reviewing the DCOMs, reviewing, like, the culture and the era. Music did play a huge part of Disney. Yes, I agree, Jacob. I think trying to review a modern show will be very interesting to see how interested or invested people would be in something like that, something they don't have nostalgia tied to, or something that like is made for babies. Like how much would people want to watch that? And I think the music is a big part because they were able to define the culture. That was my main point. Disney Channel was defining the culture when they were at their peak, which is like the era that I'm editing right now, which is the bounce era and the bounce era and the ribbon era. Sorry, oh my gosh, I could not remember it. The bounce era and the ribbon era were like defining culture for kids with the music and with the television shows being like grown-ups were watching them too and enjoying them, you know? Like my dad would watch Wizards with me and he loved it a lot. He was quite a fan, you know? And he loved Selena Gomez in the Scene with me. Like he tolerated it, I guess is what you could say. But it wasn't hard to. Like nowadays it's like if I were to like Raven's Home, I don't want to watch Raven's Home. Because I'm like, well, what business do I have watching that show if I don't have it like a 5-year-old with me, you know? And I think that's wrong. At the end of the day, I think what it is that whoever's working there, whoever is working at the Disney Channel Corp, just like doesn't, in my opinion, just like doesn't understand kids anymore. Like they got it, they understood kid culture and the culture in general in the 2000s, and then 15 years went by and they were like, what the fuck is this? Like what's happening? I think that's stale and out of touch. In my opinion. So these are all things I want to talk about near the end of the DCOM video when I get to everything past the rounded square era. Sometimes I have to get beside myself and realize just how silly a lot of these titles and these words are and stuff. But yeah, like I really do think I'm gonna have a very clickbaity, very like rage baity type part. It's gonna be like the fall of Disney Channel, right? Because like obviously it didn't like necessarily fall. Like Descendants was huge, Zombies was huge. That's only a few years ago, right? Am I not running anymore? I got an F. I got an F in the chat. Does that mean what I think it means? Does it mean that I've been shut down? Oh no! Okay, I'm gonna pause again. I'm gonna pause and see if I'm still... I'm choppy. I hate being choppy. Okay. I'm back. Okay. I paused. What show do you think started that downfall in the family-friendly show? That's a great question, Ray. But it did just cut for me. Okay. I apologize for all of the glitches. Thank you for letting me know about them. Let me see. I'm gonna close some things. Maybe that'll help. Okay. I think we're back. We're back to smooth. There's just gonna be some glitches every once in a while, and I apologize for that. I think my audio should be clean, so I'm sorry if I look glitchy. But anyways, I think it was streaming. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I think we're back. We look like we're back. Okay. What show do you think started the downfall of the family-friendly show? Very, very quick thing. So I'm off the top of my head. What was the show that came after Austin and Ally? I Didn't Do It, I don't think, was part of that. I think I Didn't Do It was like one of... I've never seen that show. But as far as I'm aware, that was one of like the last ones. In my opinion, I think Good Luck Charlie was the last quality family show. Jacob, I'm so glad you said Good Luck Charlie, because I'm working on a Good Luck Charlie video like right now, and it's about that. It's about like the family sitcom and like how it's dead now and how no one watches family sitcoms anymore. I think that's a very, very interesting like nerve that you're pulling on that like I really want to talk about for like an hour or two in a YouTube video. That should hopefully be coming out like near springtime after the DCOM project is done. Uh, oh, I was speaking to Ray's point. I think either streaming or DVR killed the family sitcom. Thank you for clarifying. I was just so worried that I had gone down. But I appreciate you, yeah, that streaming. Yes, I agree. Streaming is what killed the family sitcom. Yes, like 100%. Like you can binge watch a sitcom, but you can't, like, no one's watching the episodes week by week. So like that's the whole appeal of a family sitcom. Very, very great points everyone has here. Everyone's so insightful and aware. Because sometimes I'm afraid I have to, like, explain things to people in my videos, but I'm like, y'all already fucking get it. Y'all got it. Y'all are so smart already, you know? I have so many strong opinions that, like, born right at the end of the Zoog era basically rip on all these eras. Yeah, like, the whole Zillennial, right, Zoomer, millennial kind of era, where, like, it was a final time when kids who were, like, already teenagers were still watching Disney Channel. Now it's like, by age 13, not even, like, age 10, you stop watching Disney Channel. I'm like, that was, like, the age you were supposed to be to watch the network, you know what I mean? I think not having something to sit down, let me see, sorry. I think not having something to sit down really hurt. Sorry, not a show. Yeah, like, it's not, like, a specific television show that caused the downfall of the family. Descendants era, I don't know exactly what shows were coming out around that time, but I think that era really, negatively affected their reputation as a network, Disney channels. A bit busy, so I'm just typing on my phone. No worries. We all do typos. It's not a big deal. I'm also, editing. I'm just cutting in and out. That's what it is. It's my Wi-Fi that's really bad. I apologize, guys. Okay. I apologize, guys. That's just gonna happen. And I'm sorry about that. I wish there was something I could do, but there isn't. It's not your fault, don't feel bad. Okay, thank you, Jonah. I appreciate it. Working towards getting my own Wi-Fi. That'll probably happen, hopefully, at some point soon. We're almost done here, and I'm not finished editing this, which is I'm not happy about, because I wanted to get to Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. That's what I really wanted to do. But that's okay. We'll get there eventually. We'll get to Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Only time will tell. So anyways, what I was saying is that I would love to talk about non-Disney Channel TV shows one day. Eventually. As we move forward. On my channel. I have, like I try to have, like, at least a 5-year plan. Right? Just because I think that makes the most sense for the channel. But I just love talking about television shows and sitcoms in general. And I think the reason why Disney Channel pulled my attention first is because of its reputation among people and the whole rise of Podco and all that stuff. I think that really had a lot to do with my opinions on the project. On this as a whole. So yeah, overall very, very interesting and cool. There we go, that's what I wanted. I want the family fake out stuff. I'll be honest, when I was watching this movie, this was a real plot twist for me. Like, I was not expecting this, because I went into this movie completely blind. I knew nothing about this movie's plotline, or even anything about Even Stevens in general when I watched this. Which is what I don't recommend. I think I say this in my... I talk about that. Around 2018, I started to check out Girl Meets World with Aardvark. Disney always had marketed towards females since Lizzie, but the show felt that boys can enjoy as well. But the disconnect was felt. Very well said. It could be because I'm not straight, but I always felt welcomed. Yeah, I think Disney Channel always did a good job of that. I agree with you guys. maybe around in my opinion, around the Hannah Montana era, like right at the start of the Ribbon era, like 2007. Oh, we're done, by the way. Sorry, guys. I gotta put a little ding sound at the end of the 35-minute mark. But yes, I fully agree. Around 2007, I think they like really went in on marketing towards female audiences. Yes, Jonah, that is why Disney XD was created. Because they were like really going in on like feminine television shows with female lead characters, but they always had elements of the show that, you know, any gender or non-gendered experience could enjoy, right? And to appeal to like a very masculine audience, that's why Disney XD was created. So I see we're having some issues again, but we're just gonna keep trucking along. My screen will go gray for a little bit there, but you can still hear me, I think, so I think we'll be fine. Oh, let me put my 7-minute timer. So yes, I very much agree on Disney Channel. Like these things are like heavily focus market tested, like to the umpteenth degree. This stuff is market tested. So I think that's why it seemed like a good idea to make sure Disney XD was created. Yeah, Disney XD worked at the beginning because it was basically Jetix, yes. But DXD2 later became like Nicktoons type network. Yes, it like definitely changed from like this new and exciting like realm of content to like this is where we put shows that are on the chopping block and will be gone by next season. Like where we let them, we put them there to die, right? Because that's what Toon Nick used to do. When a show they like had a bunch of episodes of, but they didn't want to put on like Nickelodeon anymore, they would just dump it on Toon Nick, and then no one would watch it, and then they would use that excuse, like the low views, as to why they could cancel it. It's like pretty devious network behavior. Honestly, that's why Zeke and Luther is now so celebrated. The show meant for boys, but growing up, all my girlfriends loved it. It was a show for boys and accessible for girls. Yes, I love Zeke and Luther. Like, I think Zeke and Luther as characters are just so universal that even though it's like cool, radical, skating boys, it's like, it's still the characters you can relate to no matter, you know, your identity, right? Random question, but did you like Big Time Rush? BTR is so good. I am a huge Rusher, okay? I'll be completely honest with that. Not that like I'm super big fan of all of them now or anything, and I'm like, I don't stand Big Time Rush right now, but I am glad they have reunited, and they've, you know, I saw them live a few years ago, right at the beginning of their reunion, right as their like reunion album last year, I think, or 2 years ago dropped. I think that's what the fandom is still called, right? We're still called Rushers? I don't know. But yes, I watched the first season of Big Time Rush when it was on Netflix like a few years ago, and I never got to finish the rest of the show before it got pulled. But the show's very interesting. It toes a nice line. So, Pog live. Yeah, I saw them live. It was great, actually. They were great performers. My favorite Big Time Rush song, if y'all were wondering, is Paralyzed. Shit's so good. I'm glad it's finally on Spotify. That was my favorite BTR song of all time. And I never had like iTunes or anything, so like I couldn't download it. So I would have to like find like chipmunked bootlegs on on YouTube. My favorite Big Time Rush member, yours is Logan Ray. Good choice. Mine is, am I a basic person for saying that that Kendall is my favorite? Because he always has been. Kendall's always been my favorite. Kendall person here. I'm a Kendall stan. Yeah, see, Jonah, great minds think alike. I love Big Time Rush because it was basically a live-action cartoon. The creator was Scott Fellows, yes, who made Johnny Test. You can see the wacky influences, which was also in Ned's. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember his name earlier when we were talking about Ned's Declassified, like an hour or two ago, hour and a half ago. We mentioned that. We had mentioned Ned's Declassified because we were talking about Podco. And Scott Fellows, that's the person who made Big Time Rush. And Nez Declassified, and Johnny Test. Right. I secretly resent Johnny Test because, like, for no reason other than, like, Mabav, My Babysitter's a Vampire, was probably canceled to make room for reruns of Johnny Test. That's, like, not true at all, but that's, like, my personal headcanon. Because Teletoon, which was the Canadian network that created My Babysitter's a Vampire, it would show reruns of all Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network shows, and, like, clearly those were more popular than Mabav because they were animated, and it was an animated network. Anyways, I talked about that in my Mabav video. You guys know. Some of you do, probably. So that's why Mabav was canceled, because it had low views, because it was a live-action show on an animated network. So, Johnny Test is the reason why Mabav was canceled. No, that's a joke. But anyways, I was so jealous of Joe. Not gonna lie, same. Not gonna lie, same. Although I loved their ship. I wanted to be Camille. Yeah, I actually agree. I loved I loved Camille and Logan. Right? Yeah, that's the main ship. I loved their relationship. It's like so. I haven't seen it in a while, so I could be wrong. But like, it's so interesting how they had like a full-on like on again, off again like relationship represented. That was pretty cool. I will say that was pretty cool. So in about 2 minutes here, we're going to do sandwich time, which for those who don't know, sandwich time is where we take a little 10-minute break. You guys can get up and stretch and, you know, move your legs, use the bathroom, eat a sandwich. That's what I'm going to do. Although today it's not a sandwich. It is a banana and peanut butter toast. That's what I have prepared for myself today to eat during sandwich time. But that's not for another 2 minutes from now. Speaking of Big Time Rush, I have a playlist actually. Maybe... I'm gonna pull it up over here. Funny thing, Johnny Test wasn't even a Fresh TV product. Teletoon really dealt Mabav a bad deal. I agree, because Johnny Test was a Cartoon Network show. And Teletoon ended up getting absorbed by Cartoon Network anyways. So, I love the ship. I just hated how the relation between Kendall and Joe felt written around schedules. Yes, I agree that, like, they would break up whenever the actress had something else she had to do kind of thing. I think that's what you mean, rather than actual chemistry. Yes, or in the actual show, like, just based on when they wanted to bring the ship back into the plot lines versus, like, right? Yeah, I get that. I fully get that. I definitely liked Camille and Logan more than I liked Joe and Kendall in that sense. You know what I mean? Kendall likes Lucy for me. We're in great company. We're in great company, you and me, Jacob. I loved Lucy. Lucy's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite character in the show, other than Kendall. So their relationship was just so... I loved it. Lucy was great. Love her. I agree. What a queen. Both. All three of them should have just been in a relationship. I want to see that. I'm rooting for them, for all three of them to stay together in a relationship. Lucy and James was something that I don't even remember happening, and then like someone reminded me of, and I was like, what was that about? But I was talking about Big Time Rush. I have a sorry, I'm glitching a lot on camera. I really apologize for that. I have a Big Time Rush playlist that I want to share with y'all. It's on Spotify. It has all my favorite Big Time Rush songs. Maybe I'll pull it up during sandwich break and I'll put it in the chat so you guys can see it, which is right now. It's time for sandwich break. It's time for sandwich time. So we're going to take a little 10-minute break. I'm going to pull up my Big Time Rush playlist and put it in the chat for y'all. So yes, we're gonna have it's time for it's sandwich time. I want you guys to get up, stretch, you know, move around, eat something. Let me know what you do during this 10-minute break, and I'll see you guys then. So gotta give some love to Carlos. Carlos was the one I related to the most. I think, like, in a sitcom, I would be Carlos, like in that in a situation. But yes, it's sandwich time, so thank you guys for being here. We're just gonna take a little 10-minute break, and then we'll be back, and we'll continue talking about Big Time Rush, and we will edit. He's so cute, you can't help the vibe. I agree. Okay, sandwich time. See you guys in 10. Peace. Okay, I'm back. Hi there. Let me turn down the music a little bit. There. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Let me get the... Oh, wait. I did this last time. Oops. I did this last time, man. Okay. There. Now I'm back. Still trying to learn how OBS works. And clearly I'm still struggling at it. Hi. Welcome back from sandwich time. How are we doing? What did we eat? Did we eat anything? Did we, have some snacks? Some fun things to eat. I had my peanut butter. I had kind of a weird combo of things. I had some peanut butter and banana toast, which I had mentioned earlier, but then I also threw in some pickles. So that was good. I didn't put it on top. Like, I had pickles afterwards. So that felt like a little bit weird to like have a pickle and some peanut butter like in the same like meal. Sorry, I was supposed to reapply stuff and I didn't, so. Let me just real quickly. So yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back from sandwich time. I think the 10-minute break is helpful, you know, for me, you know, and also for you to get up and use the bathroom and do a few things. But anyways, we're back now and we're gonna get back to editing. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get back to editing our way through this. I gotta get this Even Stevens thing finished. I gotta finish the Even Stevens clip editing, because if I don't, I might just freak. Yeah, so we've had a long enough break. We chatted. We talked about Big Time Rush, which I'm very, very glad about. Very happy that we did. So yeah, let's just get into it. I took a nostalgia trip with the playlist. Awesome, you listened to the Big Time Rush playlist. Hell yeah, I'm so glad. Yeah, big fan of that. I tried to just like compile like my favorite of the songs, you know? My favorite BTR songs and stuff. I also had like a burned CD. Like I still listen to my burned CDs, like my mix playlists on CD, because I use my CD player quite often when I'm out and about, you know? And that was like a lot of the songs that I had downloaded on my computer, like I put into that Spotify playlist. So, okay, let's get back to editing. Here we are again. Okay. If I wasn't gonna get like full-on content ID'd for it, I would totally just be playing Big Time Rush in the background now. But I have a feeling I'm gonna be sent to the gulags if I do that, so we're just gonna, not, I guess. Sadly, though. It would be nice if we could. So yes, we were talking about Big Time Rush, and we were also talking about, what else were we talking about before that? Oh yeah, we were talking about Disney XD and Jetix and Cartoon Nick. I think it's those networks really did a disservice to their programming, you know what I mean? Like, I really feel like they did a disservice over time to making, like, giving the reputation of that network that, like, it's just a reruns channel. I've said this many times before, how My Babysitter's Vampire, like 1000% was probably watched more on Disney XD, because the way they aired it on Disney Channel, at least the first season, was so messy. So yeah, some crazy stuff, honestly. Okay, so I said this last time, but if I just go silent while I'm editing, I'm sorry. It's because I'm trying to get a specific. I'm trying to get a specific clip going. So I'll explain again how my editing process works for these. I try to get clips within 2 to 3 seconds to avoid copyright strikes, although they still happen, because of course they do. a lot of that is beyond my control, sadly. Like with the Zoog video, the most recent video I uploaded got demonetized. It's whatever, no big deal. But I try to get clips within 2 to 3 seconds to avoid that, and most for these DCOMs it does a pretty good. It helps. It does get avoided, you know. But however, caveat. The caveat is that sometimes I speed up clips, because you know that helps, and I don't think people mind visually, although if people don't like it when I speed up clips, you know, feel free to let me know. But yeah, like, I try to, you know, I'm trying my best to always be aware of the content IDs and stuff. Disney Channel reruns of Mabav was so random. Aired it during the summer, and the only times you could catch a rerun would be like 11 o'clock or midnight in October at the same time slot. Yes, exactly, Jacob. Thanks. I agree. Like, that show was the most popular on Disney Channel, and the fact that they treated it so much like dirt, and it was still so popular really shows its quality, that like people had to go out of their way to watch that, like, seriously, because it did not perform well on its mother network in Canada, like, at all. It performed so poorly in Canada, which is why it got canceled inevitably. You know, after doing all of the research that I did, that's kind of the consensus that we came to, was you know, that it just didn't do well in Canada, but it did really well in America, despite the fact that Disney Channel, like, aired it at the most awkward times. Like you said, aired it in the summer, which is what's crazy. Yeah, not only in the summer, but, like, at least the first time they aired the movie, it was all within, like, 2 weeks. Like, they aired a new episode a day in the summertime, which is, like, so it's so hard to build hype and interest in a show with that kind of structure, you know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, I could talk about Mabav for forever. What was I saying, though? We were talking about Disney XD and reruns. I think a lot of what Disney XD did was very weird. Later on, I don't think it went away along with Disney Channel and all the international channels, all the international networks. But yeah, they just stopped creating original content for Disney XD, probably because they just realized how, you know, like, what's the word? God, I'm trying to remember the word. Like, how unubiquitous, or how non-culturally relevant, I guess you could say, those shows ended up being. Like after Zeke and Luther, I said this in my Zeke and Luther video, like, in Zeke and Luther was pretty big. The two stars were, like, in other Disney Channel stuff. They weren't just, like, relegated to the Disney Channel network. The Disney XD network, they were, like, also in DCOMs and stuff, like Lemonade Mouth and Den Brother, I think. Yeah, Den Brother. But, like, all the other ones weren't, even if the shows were good, like Mighty Med and Lab Rats. I know people love those shows. I never watched them air live or anything, but I do know that people loved them. And I quite like Mighty Med, I'll be honest with you guys. I have, like, a thing. I have a thing for Mighty Med. Excuse me. But I really think Disney XD, like, did the Toon Disney, like, you, whoever said that in the chat earlier, that, like, they just became, like, Toon-nick, very insightful, because, like, yeah, they really did. Shit was crazy. Like, it literally just became, like, oh, well, like, with Phineas and Ferb. Like, when Phineas and Ferb was kind of wrapping up and getting ready to be over, they started playing a lot of Phineas and Ferb on there, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, yeah, it was a big I really think that was like a big thing. Because that's what they did to Tunic. Like a lot of shows that were, on their way out would get thrown on there. Disney XD schedule was crazy when it began. You'd go from Kicking It to Naruto to Fresh Prince reruns, and then they were throwing a dart at the border with the male programming is. Yeah. Still have the biggest crush on Billy Unger. Is that one of these guys in the show? I actually don't know who that is. I don't know who Billy Unger is. Is he on my screen right now? Like, am I getting clips of him right now? Yeah, the Disney XD programming block was crazy because they didn't have any of their own. It actually functions a lot like early Disney Channel did, like right when they stopped being a cable, like a premium channel, and they became free with most cable packages in 1997, where like they would just play the most random shit, you know, like it's World reruns. What's that show with Leonardo DiCaprio? All in the Family, I think it's called. But only the 7th season with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. And they would like call it Leo Week and stuff. Like they really had no original programming, so they were just pulling random shit to put on their network. And same thing with Disney XD, although I think it was more obvious because they were like really pulling at anything they could get. Like they didn't have a theme of like sitcom. They were just like boy show, quote unquote boy show. So like show with boy and main character. He's some Lab Rats and Mighty Met. Okay, Billy Unger. Okay, yes. I still don't know who you're talking about. I'll be completely honest with you. If you told me a character he played, maybe I would know, but... And I would look him up, but I don't want us to go under like I did last time. I mean Elite Force, not Mighty Med. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, was he, Chase in Lab Rats? Or was he the main character of Lab Rats? I can't remember his name. Okay, Chase. Thank you, guys, for... updating me. I haven't watched Lab Rats ever. I think I saw a few episodes when it was airing, but I never fully watched it. Yeah, they just moved over Jetix programming and a lot of Disney Channel reruns. Yeah, see, for Disney XD, they really did just like, before Mighty Med and Lab Rats and Zeke and Luther and all that, they really did just like you said, Fresh Prince reruns and Naruto and stuff, like, what a wacky... And then, like, Zeke and Luther, like, what a wild combo of shows to watch on one network. Like, there was no theme other than, like, boy. And then I know for a while there, and they probably still do this on the networks that still exist, but they were, like, playing, like, YouTube videos, right? Like, Jacksepticeye playing Happy Wheels would like play on Disney XD, and I'm like, they really have nothing on there anymore. Like they're literally playing reruns of, they're playing YouTube videos, like edited down YouTube videos. That when I figured out that they're doing that, I was like, crazy, that's wild. I love the idea of Lab Rats, since we were talking about Billy Unger. I love the idea of that show, because I have seen Kean Carlisle's video on it, and it made me want to watch it again, like, or watch it for the first time, because I remember, like, a few episodes from, like, the early season, but, like, I had kind of stopped watching TV around that time. But yeah, I remember, I feel like there's a lot of good ideas in that show. Like, I like the idea of them all having the archetype. Well, what's her name? The girl doesn't have one. There's Adam, Bree, and then Chase. Yes, I remember it because it's ABC. That's, like, literally the only reason why I remember it. But Bree, Bree doesn't really have, like, a personality. I feel like she could have had one. Yeah, Disney XD did a programming block called DXP of VTubers Gaming. Yeah, like... wild. That's wild to me that they could just that they literally are like, what do boys watch? Like PewDiePie. So then they would just play like PewDiePie clips. Like they're not watching that on cable, you know what I mean? Like they're not watching that on they're watching that on YouTube already. Like why would they go on their television to watch stuff they could watch on their computers? Sorry, I gotta sneeze again. My allergies today, sorry guys, have been crazy. That also reminds me of what Nickelodeon did back in the day with Awesomeness TV. I don't know if you guys remember that show. It was hosted by Daniela Monet, as well as like celebrities of the time. Fifth Harmony, 5 Seconds of Summer. Can't believe I've gone this long in the live stream without talking about Five Sauce. But they hosted an episode of Awesomeness TV, and that was literally just sketches and skits that they uploaded to their YouTube channel, played on television. I distinctly remember tuning in to watch Awesomeness TV, and I was like, I've literally seen all of these sketches on YouTube already. That was like probably one of the last things I ever watched on Nickelodeon, because I was making an effort to watch television, because I know I had stopped watching it after I got a phone and stuff. And that was like a sign to me that maybe this shit isn't as relevant as we maybe thought it was. So anyways, that I think was all. That I think is. Since we talked about this just now, I will love to mention that in my video at the final parts plural of the DCOM video. I'm gonna mention that since we've talked about it now. Hard pass on Awesomeness TV, but I sat down and watched every episode of the Fred Show. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Yeah, I agree. Hard pass on Awesomeness TV. I bet, it probably is on, Paramount Plus and stuff, but, I bet that there's, no enjoyment to derive from watching that. From watching, those shows. To watching that in the modern day. But the Fred Show, however, there's some stuff in there. There's some sauce in there that I think is worth it in the modern day. Yeah, shout out to the sauce. Sorry. I was checking something and it makes my music disappear on the screen. Yeah, there truly is some sauce to speaking of. Will this look good? Sorry, I'm trying to fix this in real time. There, does that look okay? Anyways, sorry. I'm getting distracted. Only watched Awesomeness TV once for the Vamps. Sorry. Yeah, the Vamps also hosted an episode. Yeah, I remember that. Anyways, I was trying to make sure. I think I glitched there for a second. I was just trying to make sure I didn't go down. Okay, so Fred the TV show, Fred the Show. I wouldn't say I like it necessarily, but I kind of love it. I'm kind of obsessed with Fred the Show, and just in general, I think Fred has a lot more stuff in it, I guess you could say, or quality in it that people don't really I think give it credit for. I'm glad Quentin Reviews did that video, because I think he really broke down what quality and what goodness there was in Fred as a project as a whole, because it was so shat on. It was so shit on back in the day. Horribly shit on back in the day for being bad and horrible, but there's actually a lot of really good stuff in there, and I think Fred the Show reflects that a lot. I really do think it does. I want to make this one longer, so I'm gonna get rid of all that. I'll make this clip a little longer. Oops. Nope, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. Okay. And then I'm gonna speed it up. But I want to get both of these in here. Wait. There, that's where I want to cut it. Okay. And there. Perfect. That's the perfect clip right there. Okay. Oh, I see I got a comment. Let me read it. Fred the Show was a chaotic mess, but fun, and I loved the first movie. The first movie is, like, good. Like, that is one thing I don't feel controversial in saying, that, like, the first movie is good. 'Cause it is. Oops. I agree, the first movie is good. Like, genuinely, there's just, like, a lot of really good ideas there. And I feel like a lot of people were just, like, because it was the internet punching bag of the time, right? Like Fred, it was just like popular to like make fun of it and to like call it shit. So when the movie came out, it was just like a no-brainer, like it's the worst movie ever kind of thing, right? Oops, sorry. I'm like fiddling with OBS while I'm trying to be editing. Sorry, guys. But and talk about Fred the Show. Can't do too many things at once. But yeah, Fred was so. I think it was really subversive. The fact that it was made by, like, a 15-year-old who had, like, all this edgy humor he included, you know, in the show, in his videos about, like, what was happening to a 6-year-old, right? Like, I think all of that is so fascinating. And I'm glad the Quentin Reviews video, like, really highlights that, you know what I mean? Because, hell yeah. Oh, sorry, I just booped the camera when I went to go fix my fringe. So, that's pretty... Yeah, I agree with Fred the Show. That was a good show. Specifically, like, when they really got surrealist with it, you know, and they didn't just, like, stick to basic high school plots. But see, even then, with the high school plots with Fred the Show, like, they had Kevin fall in love with Fred. Like... that shit's interesting. Like, you know, like, they at least did, like, they did something cool with that. And I liked Daniela Monet as, Bertha. I didn't mind her eventually over time. Okay, that can be a little slower. Or, yeah. There, let's do that. And the first movie, I think, is good because of that surrealist element. The third movie is really bad. I watched all three. I think there's a reason why in the Quentin Reviews video he like made a joke so he wouldn't have to like actually talk about it in the same way he did the first two. But yeah, it's pretty good. Shout out to Fred. I love Fred. I'm willing to say it. I'm willing to be honest. I'm willing to be subversive. Camp I Want a PP. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Y'all remember the third movie. It's bad. Like, the amount of... I think a Fred movie is only as good as the amount of John Cena that's in it. And there's the least amount of John Cena in that movie. So that means it's the worst one. That's just a fact right there. But yeah, poor, what's his name? Yeah, there we go. Poor Fred. You know, he was really hated on at the time, and I think people appreciate him more now. Like, actually watching Fred videos from back in the day over again, I actually don't recall seeing John Cena in the franchise. Yeah, he plays Fred's dad in the movies. In the first movie, he has, like, a fantasy that, because he's like, I don't know who my dad is, so he fantasizes that his father is John Cena, and he, like smashes him through a glass table. Remember Marvin, though? I do remember Marvin. That felt like a step backwards. Like, Fred the Show, for all of its flaws, was at least, like, a surrealist masterpiece, versus Marvin, which was just, like, boring, multi-camera sitcom number 211, you know? Like, what a step back. Oh, no, it was the John Cena joke. No! Oh, man, I didn't get the John Cena joke. Damn it. I don't recall seeing John, because you can't see him. You got me there. You actually got me there. Because you can't see him. I don't recall seeing him. The BTR alien crossover in Marvin. Yeah, what a weird moment. That was crazy. I agree. Like, like, Big Time Rush had done such a good job of being, Big Time Rush had done such a great job of being, like, grounded in some form of reality, even though, like we said earlier, someone said earlier that it was, like, literally just a live-action cartoon. Like, there was still, you know, I think some semblance of, like, things are gonna make sense, and then the Marvin crossover happened, and it was just... It was a wacky time, honestly. That was a bit too wacky for me, that Marvin crossover. That was, like a last final gasp for attention for that show. It was like, okay, if the Big Time Rush things like sequel, like if the Big Time Rush crossover does bad, then like that's how we know this show is dead. And it did do bad, and so it got canceled. It got canned. And I'm glad that Lucas Cruikshank, however you pronounce it, was able to move on and do better things with Fred, and then eventually just with his life. So, shout out to Lucas Cruikshank. OMG, I forgot about that crossover. Ouch. Yeah, that was rough. I don't think any of it spilled over into Big Time Rush itself. I think it was just in Marvin. So I do think you're able to avoid it if you really hate the idea of it. You know what I mean? If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think there's any mention of Marvin in Big Time Rush itself. Although people who have watched, especially the later seasons recently, will have to let me know. I have a friend who's a big rusher, a huge Big Time Rush fan, and they've definitely watched all of the show like very recently. And I should ask them, like, hey, did you ever hear a mention of Marvin? It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good. Oops. Sorry, my mouse was glitching for a second there, which is why I was frozen on Ren's like crazy face for a bit there while I was talking, because my mouse, I think my mouse battery is also dying, which is making me upset. Because it's been glitching a lot. It's worse today than it was yesterday. And I was gonna buy some stupid batteries, and I couldn't. I'm so pissed. Because my rant at the beginning of the stream was that on like my list of errands to do for today, I had like buy batteries because the batteries on my keyboard died and just like completely went out. Like my keyboard just like literally wasn't working last night. Like immediately after stream, my keyboard just stopped working. So I went to go buy batteries today, and they didn't have any. I never explained how I'm still being able to use my keyboard now. Actually, let me explain that. It's because I have this candle. I have this candle here, and it's like a battery operated candle. Look at this. See? I'm not allowed to have any fire in my room. That's why in the background here, oh, you can't see it in this crop, but in the corner here, I have like a wax melter. That's what's on the background. So I have a nice smelling room, but without any fire. So this is like for ambiance. I've had this in my videos before, I think. But both my keyboard and this run on AAA batteries, and I had just put batteries in this thing like a little bit ago, so I just swapped the batteries, so this thing will probably die soon, but my keyboard works, and I think that's more important than this stupid candle thing. So anyways, did you ever watch How to Rock? I did. I've seen all of How to Rock when it first came out. I watched it live on TV. That was a show where I was like, this show is bad and it's not going to perform well. Like I knew as like a teenager, like this show is going to do bad and it's going to get canceled and no one's going to remember it exists. So I'm going to go out of my way to watch it so I can be someone who like jump scares people with that show. You know what I mean? So anyways, my mouse isn't working. It just isn't. Okay, here we go. I wanted to talk about How to Rock more, and I mentioned it in one of my first ever videos. I always say that the My Babysitter's a Vampire video is my first video, but that's actually a lie, because my first video is about Heathers, actually. So Heathers is first. Sorry, I'm having to close some stuff. Heathers is my first video. And then I did a Dan and Phil video. It's whatever. And then I talked about Swindle, which is one of my favorite Nickelodeon movies. That's a goal of mine after the DCOM video, is if anyone's interested, I would love to do a like ranking and reviewing every Nickelodeon original movie, because I think that would be fascinating, because most of them are TV shows. TV show, like 1 hour specials. But anyways, Swindle, love Swindle. I made that video for multiple reasons. The first one was because Ariana Grande was just announced as being in Wicked, as being casted in Wicked. So I hope I made that joke in the video. I have to go back and check, where I was like, since Ariana Grande is going to be making her film debut, I gotta review her first ever film that she starred in, which was Swindle, even though it was a TV film. And the reason why I'm mentioning Swindle is because 2 actors from How to Rock were in that. I love remembering obscure, unpopular shows. I watch so many channels, it's just fun to know random shows that nobody remembers. I agree, Jacob, exactly. Like, I watched a lot of TV back during its heyday. Like, that was my main activity, was watching TV. And I'm assuming a lot of you guys are the same, especially nowadays, where it's like, well, now I just like spend most of my free time like watching YouTube videos or TikTok or live streams or whatever. But like, it was TV. Like, back in the day, it was TV that was like people, that we were watching. People were watching. And sorry, I'm trying to get to this clip here. And a lot of stuff just gets lost to time. Like, only got 1 season, got canceled pretty soon, like, not popular. That's pretty interesting. Swindle, Ariana and that body double. I have seen that. A friend showed me that TikTok because they knew that I made the Swindle video, and they were like, look at this TikTok that's trending. And it was the fact that, like, Ariana Grande's body double for that movie looked literally nothing like her, and they didn't do any work to make it to obscure it at all. Like this. Just like this, actually. This is, like, amazing timing. Look at this. This is not Shia LaBeouf. I have never seen somebody less Shia LaBeouf looking than this right here. That's so funny. What great timing. The running gag of Call Me Maybe and Swindle lives rent-free in my head. I agree. That gag is so funny, purely because they clearly could only afford to, like, license, like, 90 seconds of it, right? So they just played, like a loop, like a 90-second loop of it. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I love Swindle. Swindle's one of my favorite, like, Nickelodeon things ever. Yeah, look at that body double. And then we cut to him on a green screen here. Like, oh, yep, these were filmed on the same day. Totally. Yeah, right. That's so funny. Like, look how green screen. This is so green screened. That's good. That's a good time. So anyways, what was I saying about, oh, How to Rock. I went on the Swindle rant because How to Rock was, like, supposed to be one of the big shows that was, like, a part of the Nickelodeon roster, but, like, it clearly had, like, a deficit in quality, in recognizability, in like, being popular, because it was what? It was, I guess technically you could say, the Gibby pilot, for Noah Monk, but, like, iCarly for Noah Monk. Same thing with Jeanette McCurdy, but, like, Sam and Cat was really, like, the show, so, like, Sam and Cat with Jeanette McCurdy and Ariana Grande. And then How to Rock. Like, definitely not on the same level of iCarly and victorious Sam and Cat. Even Sam and Cat was more popular purely just because it starred Ariana Grande as she was becoming, like, one of the biggest pop stars of all time. So, very fascinating overall. Just very, very, very fascinating. I kind of wish I watched more TV for kids/teens when it aired instead of, but instead Child Loki usually watched Mythbusters. Lol, I'm catching up now. Mythbusters is still pretty good, though. That's still a good way to spend one's time, I would say, watching Mythbusters. That's, like, completely valid. That's very funny. You're catching up now, though. That's good. We're almost done here. I'm so close to being done. I am so excited. I'm sorry, but Sam and Cat doesn't exist to me. They tried to market the main character as the next big Nick star. I thought she would because they did the same treatment with her brother, Little Romeo, with his own show. Yes, Symphonique. I, for the longest time, didn't know that they were siblings. I only, like, recently learned that. Symphonique. I didn't mind her voice. I didn't mind her character in the show. I think it was very weird. That show was very. There's a lot of stuff in that to, like, unpack, especially in the modern day. And then for Sam and Cat, Sam and Cat is just such a weird like thing. You know what I mean? It really shouldn't exist. I'm gonna say it. Like, I think a lot of people are like, well, you know. Again, I'm just quoting Quentin reviews left and right. Like, I would rather have a better 4th season of Victorious than Sam and Cat. Like, I would trade a season 4 that's of Victorious that's better and has a better finale than Sam and Cat existing. Yeah. And then as for How to Rock, I think How to Rock was trying to do what, it was like a very different vibe from Victorious, but I think it was trying to, like, Victorious itself to victory, to be victorious. But it didn't work. I think the vibes were just off for How to Rock, genuinely. Like, so just to explain it very simply, the vibes are off. Although, 1 or 2 songs from that did slap, I will say. That era was so bad for Nick. Like, who greenlit Bucket and Skinner? I haven't thought of Bucket and Skinner in a long time. That was like what I do for most people with my videos where I mention random obscure stuff that they haven't heard in a long time. You just did for me with Bucket and Skinner. Thank you, Jacob, for mentioning that show. I completely forgot that existed. Like, that show was ass. Like, I'm willing to say. Like, that's up there with, that show's up there with, what's that freaky ass show with the puppets? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The freaky show with the Muppets. The puppets, I mean. Yeah. That show. That's like on the same level in my opinion. What is it called? Like Mr. Meat? Nick was pushing for Symphonique Miller hard. She was on like 5 Nick shows before How to Rock. Yeah, she was on Big Time Rush. She did a song with Big Time Rush. She dropped like half a bar on a Big Time Rush song. And I think that version isn't even on streaming. I think they really wanted her to be a star. And there's probably like some sort of like Victoria Justice thing, you know? Where it's like there was probably some behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about that happened that led to that occurring. You know what I mean? So I think that's pretty interesting. Because, like, from what I'm aware, when it comes to Victoria Justice, I've realized that, like, the context I should give some context for that. Victoria Justice, as far as I'm aware, like, I think there's creative differences as to why her album never came out. And I've actually found the archives, I've dug up the old shit of her music. And my theory is just that, like, something behind the scenes that we'll probably never know about happened, and that's why her music career never happened, and she never released an album, and then got dropped from her label, and is only now making music, you know what I mean? After, like, 15 years. I wouldn't be surprised if something similar happened to Symphonique Miller, like, because like you had said with Lil Romeo, like, they had treated him so well. So you think they would do the same for her. Very interesting. Mr. Meaty at least had a cute jingle for the theme song. Bucket brought nothing to the table. Thank you, Mr. Meaty. Yes. I will give Mr. Meaty some Fred the Show credit in the sense that, like, it was at least a little bit, like, it had a reason to exist. Like, the whole point was to be gross and weird, and it succeeded. But, like, what was the point of Bucket and Skinner? If anyone has an example of, like, what the point was for that thing, I would love to hear it. But I bet that doesn't exist. I bet that point doesn't exist at all. Like, because that shit was just weird. And I don't even remember, I think I watched, like, half an episode, and I was like, no. You know, like that scene at the end of SpongeBob, where, like, the family, like, looks at each other, and they go, huh, and they turn off the TV? That was me, when I watched, like, half a second of Bucket and Skinner. No offense to the people who worked on that show. They, you know, it's probably just... They probably just had to, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can do as an actor in Hollywood, and sometimes you gotta star in Bucket and Skinner. It's rough out there for them. Yeah, that era of Nick was very weird. I think they recovered pretty well with Henry Danger. Not that I was ever a fan of that show, but I think it got them some viewers. I mean, literally it ran for like a decade, right? Like, that shit went nuclear. Like, it was very popular. We're at that point of the stream where the editing software is glitching. And that's okay. But I just want us all to show some grace and some light for me, okay? One thing that's funny about the Even Stevens movie is that it ends with a musical scene. It ends with a music video where Christy Carson Romano sings a little song. And it's intercut with, like, a bunch of bloopers. Or behind the scenes, like, stuff. So that's pretty interesting. I trade Bucket and Skinner for season 3 of Super Ninjas any day. That is another one I'd never heard of before recently. Mr. Meaty haunts me to this day, please. Bucket and Skinner was just eye candy for girls. That's a good point, actually. That was something I thought about, but I never mentioned in the in my Zeke and Luther video, where it was like, I wonder if part of, like, how they framed the boys in Zeke and Luther was to, like, be, like, you know, eye candy or, like, attractive to girls. Because I remember, like, being like, what's happening when, like, randomly, like, Hutch Dano would be shirtless, you know, in, like, an episode. And I'm like, what was the point of this again? And it was like, oh, well, it was because they wanted maybe they were trying to attract a certain audience, you know what I mean? I think that's why Ginger existed, like, truly, fully. Okay, I know we've been done for a while now. Sorry, guys. I just really wanted to get this done, and it's done now. So now we can go into our 7-minute break and let this render. Although my my editing software is screaming at me, so I might just render this later, and I might just end the stream soon after we, you know, talk a little bit more. So, Super Ninjas, like you had said, I'd never really heard of before, and I still don't know much about it. Like, genuinely, I know very little about that show. So, I'd be interested to hear more about it, honestly, because, like, I know nothing about it. Like, even to a certain, like, I'm only so far. I only know so much, especially when it comes to Nickelodeon. Like, I have really been putting all of my eggs... Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Wait. There. There we go. We're back. There we go. Okay. I only have so much knowledge about Nickelodeon stuff because I've really been, like, putting everything into researching Disney Channel. So, like, I would love to talk about Nickelodeon more in the future, but I would definitely have to, like, take some time, get a research grant, you know, to talk more about Nickelodeon on my channel. I definitely would start it with a video on Victorious. I'm just quoting people left and right. Call today the quote day, but to quote CJ the X, I think they had quoted another YouTuber when they said, when they were talking about Twilight, where it's like, it's not good, it's not bad, but it has a lot of shit in it. And that's how I feel about both iCarly and Victorious. Like, there's a lot of shit in it to, like, dissect and talk about, but I don't necessarily find it good or bad. I find it very entertaining. It's like I can't peel my eyes away. I wanted to like The Troop more. Yeah, The Troop. Yes. The Troop, I had seen a few episodes of. I did know it existed. But I bet there could have been better. I bet it could have been better. What's your favorite Disney Channel show? Oh, excuse me. The Monster Juice is getting to me now. What's my favorite Disney Channel show? That is a wild question to ask. Okay, let me think about it. Let me think about it. I gotta think about that and the answer to that, because there's a lot of ways I can go. I have to discount My Babysitter's a Vampire immediately because it's not fair. It's not fair to the rest of the shows, because that's, like, the best show ever made. And it's not a Disney Channel show, so it shouldn't count anyways. So I'm not going to count that, because that's unfair. No matter how much, if I, like, make fun of Mabav in any way, or, like, call something bad, like, it is still, like, an 8 out of 10 compared to everything else, you know what I mean? So that's not fair, but let me think. I don't want to outright say this is my favorite, but I really like Wizards of Waverly Place. That was a show I found a lot of joy and pleasure out of watching. So I really enjoy that. I have to go, unfortunately. See you next time. No problem, Ray. Thank you for being here for the stream. I'm actually going to be ending soon anyways, because I have to go pick up my book, first of all. I ordered a book at the bookstore, and it's not here yet. But thank you for being here, Ray. I'll see ya. Have a nice rest of your day. I have to go pick up my book, and they close at 4. And it is 3:42 for me right now, so I'll probably end in like 5 or so minutes. But to answer your question about what my favorite Disney Channel show is, all of the shows I've made videos about are like contenders, besides Sunny with a Chance. That's the only one. No offense to that show. But I said my piece on that in the video. Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life on Deck. Yeah, I think the Sweet Life on Deck is a great contender for my favorite. Just because I love what they were able to do with the characters. I know a lot of people don't like the Sweet Life on Deck, and they compare it to Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and that's fine. But I really like the show, and that's all that matters to me. So let's see, what else? What else would I consider for my my favorite? I don't know. I honestly don't. I think that'll be my answer. Sweet Life on Deck, Wizards of Waverly Place. Yes, that's what's gonna be my answer. And if it counted Mabav, because like it's unfair. Like My Babysitter's Vampires, like it's unfair how, you know, to even compare it to all those, because it's just so good. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say Wizards of Waverly. I don't want to say Wizards over On Deck, but I'm going to, just because since this is the DCOM live stream, the Wizards DCOM is much better than the On Deck DCOM. Like, the Sweet Life movie is, not to spoil my opinions on it, but it's a travesty. Like, it's a big mess in my opinion. I think it's horrible. I think it's really bad. I don't want to offend anybody who likes that movie, but not a big fan of it, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna say Wizards, because the Wizards of Waverly Place movie is really good. That's a really good movie. Probably up there in the top 10 of DCOMs, but I'm not gonna spoil that yet. So I think my favorite animated series was Dave the Barbarian. My live action picks would be the Sweet Life franchise and That's So Raven. That's a good pick. Yes, the Sweet Life franchise. I would put that it's one big show. The Sweet Life series, you know, Sweet Life is Zack and Cody and On Deck. The only reason why it got split in, to make 2 different shows is because of money, like, which is its own rant. But Dave the Barbarian's a good pick for animated, honestly. Like, that's a good pick. For animated shows, oh, man, for animated shows, I love Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb is really good. And there's others too, but that's like the first one that comes to my mind when it comes to like really good, sorry, I bonked the mic, really good animated Disney shows. Yeah, that Gemini Project concept is nonsense in the Sweet Life movie. I agree. Like, oh, that makes me so mad that they like couldn't just do like an interesting like character thing. You know what I mean? Like, they could have done something really, really fun and interesting since they were filming on like an actual cruise ship, but they probably felt that like the cruise ship looked so different, like the real cruise ship they filmed on for the movie looked so different from their set that like they didn't want to film on it for too long, which is why they like were escaping to a bunch of weird random stuff. Phineas and Ferb is so iconic. Yes, I agree. It's a really good show, and I haven't watched it in a long time. I've probably only seen like the first 4 seasons, in all honesty. Oh, duh, Gravity Falls. I have to mention Gravity Falls. No spoilers for Gravity Falls, actually. This is the only thing I'm gonna care about spoilers with, because I'm reviewing every episode with my friends on our podcast, and I want to be surprised. I want to learned all the twists and secrets and stuff live on my podcast for good content. So yeah, I gotta mention Gravity Falls when we're talking about like best Disney shows. My favorite On Deck episode was the 7 Seas News Jenna Around Funniest episode. Yes, Jacob, yes, that episode is hilarious. Like, I said this in my video, like, they do such a good job with bottle episodes on that show, where like the whole point of the episode is like, we're in this place, we're here doing this thing in this place, and I think they did such a good job with that. So since we're talking about good stuff, our favorite shows on deck and stuff, I think now's a great time to bid farewell. I would love to stay for another hour, but I actually have other things I need to do. I can't wait for the Gravity Falls podcast episodes. Yes, Loki, thanks. It's on its own separate channel now, so you have to look up Vampy Wampy Campy podcast on YouTube, and you'll find it. The first episode has already been out since November, but we're recording a second episode very soon, so it should be coming out. We're recording some remotely now because I don't live in the same city as them anymore. I used to. But yes, promo. I should probably get going. I wish I could stay for another hour, but I can't because I have more errands to run. I'm honestly having so much fun. I might do this tomorrow. I don't know what you guys think. If I should try and stream again a 3rd day in a row. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments, like post this coming out, like if anyone's watching this in the future, let me know if you want me to do this tomorrow on Saturday. But for now, I'm gonna have to sign off. I'm sorry. I've been having so much fun talking with you guys. Been having a really great chat in the chat and stuff, and I finished the Even Stevens movie. So actually, let's finish with that. That's gonna feel nice. It's gonna feel nice to add to like the done category. Let me see, even the movie. Oops. Okay. And then I gotta take it off of this one. There. And then we gotta move there. So I'm gonna check with my schedule and I'll let you guys know on my community page if I'm gonna stream again tomorrow. And because then we're gonna do Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. And once I finish this, we'll continue on. So enjoyed the stream today. Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off next. Yes, we're finally getting to Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. It's one of my favorite DCOMs so far. That'll be fun for next time. So thank you guys for being here and watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna get going now. Go run some errands. So thank you guys so much. Like, genuinely, this has been so fun. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.